What if the pyramids weren't just tombs, but the foundations of a global empire powered by steam and steel? Imagine a world where ancient Egypt, not Britain, kick-started the Industrial Revolution. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi novel, but could it have happened? Let's explore this alternate timeline. For this to work, Egypt would need a major scientific breakthrough. Let's say, sometime around the New Kingdom, a brilliant inventor inspired by the steam-powered toys of Hero of Alexandria creates a practical, efficient steam engine. This isn't just a toy, it's a machine capable of real work. Suddenly, the endless labor of slaves and animals can be replaced by the power of boiling water. What would be the first application? Mining. Egypt was rich in gold, copper, and precious stones. Steam-powered pumps could drain water from deep mine shafts, allowing access to veins of ore previously unreachable. Steam-powered lifts could haul heavy loads to the surface with incredible speed. The wealth pouring out of the mines would be staggering, funding further innovation and expansion. Next up, agriculture. The Nile's annual flood was the lifeblood of Egypt, but it was also unpredictable. With steam engines, the Egyptians could build massive, year-round irrigation systems. Canals could be dug deeper and wider, and water could be pumped to fields far from the riverbank. This would lead to multiple harvests per year, creating enormous food surpluses. A well-fed population is a stable population, and a food surplus means more people can leave farming for other jobs, like factory work. And factories would spring up along the Nile. Imagine vast textile mills, powered by steam, weaving Egyptian cotton and linen into fabrics sought after across the known world. Papyrus production would be mechanized, making scrolls, the books of the ancient world, cheaper and more accessible than ever. This could trigger a knowledge explosion, a renaissance of learning and literacy thousands of years ahead of schedule. But the biggest game-changer would be transportation. Forget slow-moving barges and donkey caravans. The Egyptians would invent the steamship and the locomotive. Steamships would make the Nile a two-way superhighway, moving goods and armies up and down the river with unprecedented speed. They could even brave the Mediterranean and the Red Sea, turning Egypt into a naval superpower. Then comes the iron chariot, the train. Picture railways stretching from Thebes to Memphis, and then branching out across the Sinai Desert into the Levant and south into Nubia. These iron arteries would bind the Egyptian empire together, allowing for rapid deployment of troops and efficient collection of taxes and resources. An Egyptian legion could travel in days what used to take weeks. Rebellions would be crushed before they could even begin. This new industrial might would completely reshape Egyptian society. A new class of people would emerge: inventors, engineers, factory owners, and financiers. The traditional power structures, the pharaoh, the priests, the nobility, would have to adapt or be swept aside. The pharaoh might become more of a CEO of Egypt Incorporated, managing a vast industrial and commercial enterprise. The priests, who were often the keepers of knowledge, might shift their focus from religious rituals to scientific research and education, founding great universities and libraries. Cities would transform. Thebes and Memphis would swell into sprawling metropolises, their ancient temples and palaces dwarfed by towering smokestacks and factories. The air would be thick with coal smoke, and the soundscape would change from the quiet rhythm of ancient life to the constant roar of machinery. This would create new social problems: pollution, overcrowding, and a new urban working class facing harsh conditions. We might see the rise of labor movements and social reformers thousands of years early. How would the rest of the world react? The Hittites, the Assyrians, the Greeks, they would all be facing an Egypt that was not just rich and powerful, but technologically superior in a way they couldn't comprehend. An Egyptian army equipped with mass-produced iron weapons, supplied by railway and supported by a steam-powered navy, would be unstoppable. The expansion would be swift. Egypt could easily conquer the Near East, securing vital resources like timber from Lebanon and metals from Anatolia. They might push into Mesopotamia, a land of great cities and fertile fields. Perhaps they would even set their sights on Europe. Could a nascent Roman Republic stand against steam-powered Egyptian legions? It's unlikely. Instead of the Roman Empire, we might have seen a vast globe-spanning Egyptian empire. Egyptian culture, language, and religion would spread with their armies and merchants. Hieroglyphs might have evolved into a global script. The Pantheon in Rome might have been built to honor Horus and Isis instead of Jupiter and Juno. The world's great religions might have developed differently, or perhaps not at all, in the face of the powerful and ancient Egyptian pantheon, now backed by industrial might. The Americas would likely be discovered far earlier. With advanced steamships, Egyptian explorers could cross the Atlantic. What would happen when the industrial might of Egypt met the civilizations of the Maya or the Incas? It would be a collision of worlds on a scale never before seen. But would this empire last? Industrialization brings its own challenges. The demand for fuel, charcoal at first, then likely coal, would lead to massive deforestation and a search for new energy sources. Social unrest from the factory workers, conflicts between the new industrial elites and the old aristocracy, and the sheer difficulty of administering a globe-spanning empire could cause it to fracture. Even with all its power, this industrial Egypt might eventually collapse under its own weight, just like so many empires throughout history. But the world it left behind would be irrevocably changed. The seeds of industrial technology would have been planted across the globe. Perhaps instead of one industrial revolution, history would see several, rising from the ashes of the Egyptian empire in different parts of the world. So while the Great Pyramid of Giza stands as a monument to an ancient world of stone and human labor, it's fascinating to imagine an alternate reality where it might have been overshadowed by the smokestacks of an Egyptian industrial age. A world of steam-powered pharaohs, iron chariots on rails, and a global empire built on the banks of the Nile. What do you think? Could this have happened? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into an alternate past, don't forget to like and subscribe for more what-if scenarios. See you next time.